Who is the most underrated superstar of all time? Now, when we say underrated, we're talking about someone that did not reach the accomplishments that they should have based on how good they were. And I'm going to do this category based on purely in-ring work because I feel like a lot of the guys that are unbelievably talented in-ring just weren't able to cut on the mic or weren't able to connect with the crowd as good as they should have. The obvious answers on this, I do believe Shelton Benjamin is one of the greatest underrated superstars of all time. That's an easy one. I think Finley is another one that's a really super easy one. I think Matt Hardy as a singles competitor was also very, very underrated. But there is a name that I feel like never, ever gets mentioned on this list that should. John Morrison, Johnny Nitro, Johnny Mundo, Johnny Blaze, Johnny TV, whatever you want to call him, Johnny Superstar. He was one of the most underrated superstars that I think we have ever seen. In ring, I used to love his work. I think he was so ahead of his time in ring. I believe he elevated every single person that he ever worked with, whether it be on his team, like a Joey Mercury. I believe he elevated The Miz. I believe he elevated every single talent he worked with, like against other people. When he was in Lucha Underground as like the foreign invader, that they like the gimmick where he'd be like the guy from the outside was the Johnny Mundo. Was just an unbelievable character. His character in TNA, he is just so good, and he is still going to this day at a top tier level at 45 years old. I believe he is the most underrated, one of the most underrated superstars of all time, and deserves to be on that list.